Have you ever spent an hour scrolling through a streaming service, only to turn off the television without watching anything? Or perhaps you are facing a much larger dilemma, a career change, a move to a new city, or a relationship crossroads. You feel frozen. You analyze every possible outcome, fearing that the wrong choice will ruin your life. This is what psychologists call analysis paralysis. In an era of infinite options, we often believe that more choice leads to more freedom. But the truth is, without a system, infinite choice leads to mental imprisonment. Today, we are going to build your decision-making architecture, a logical framework to eliminate hesitation and reclaim your sense of control. Let me tell you about Arthur. Arthur was a brilliant strategist in his 30s, but he had a secret. He couldn't make a decision to save his life. Whether it was choosing a software vendor at work or a vacation spot with his wife, Arthur would spiral. He would create endless spreadsheets, read hundreds of reviews, and still feel terrified of the opportunity cost, the value of what he might be giving up. He felt like he was standing in the middle of 1,000 paths, unable to take a single step. He was exhausted, and his relationships were suffering. Arthur eventually sought out a mentor named Silas, a retired chess grandmaster. Silas understood the pressure of making critical decisions under time constraints. "Arthur," Silas said, "you think you are being thorough, but you are actually being fearful. You don't have a choice problem. You have a system problem in chess. If you try to calculate every possible move of every piece, you will lose on time. You need an architecture to filter the noise." Silas taught Arthur the 4 pillars of the strategic decision framework. The first pillar is the 70% rule. Many people wait until they have 100% of the information before making a move, but by then, the opportunity is usually gone. Silas explained that in high-stakes environments, you should make a decision when you have about 70% of the information you need. If you wait, this requires a shift in mindset. You must accept that no choice is perfect. The goal is not perfection. The goal is momentum. Making a good decision today is almost always better than making a perfect decision next month. The second pillar is the non-negotiable filter. Most choice paralysis comes from comparing apples to oranges. Arthur was trying to compare the salary of one job with the creative freedom of another. Silas told him, "Define your values before you look at the options. You must establish 3 non-negotiables, your core criteria, before you start your research. If an option doesn't meet all 3, it is automatically discarded. By setting your constraints early, you reduce the cognitive load on your brain. You aren't choosing between 20 things. You are filtering for the one that fits your preset mold." The third pillar is the time. Box method decisions expand to fill the time you give them. If you give yourself a week to choose a laptop, it will take a week of stress. The protocol is simple. Assign a time limit based on the impact of the decision. Choosing a restaurant, 2 minutes. A new car, 2 days. A career move, 2 weeks. Once the timer hits 0, you must commit. This forces your brain to stop the loop of what if and move into the mode of how to. This is the essence of discipline, forcing the mind to obey a schedule. The fourth pillar is the post. Decision seal. The greatest thief of peace is buyer's remorse, the habit of looking back and wondering if the other path was better. Silas taught Arthur that once a decision is made, the other options cease to exist. You must burn the boats. The protocol requires you to stop all research and comparison the moment the choice is made. You don't look back. You only look forward at how to make your chosen path successful. You realize that making the right choice is less important than making the choice right through your subsequent actions. The epiphany for Arthur came when he had to decide whether to stay at his stable job or join a risky startup. Using the matrix, he realized his non-negotiables were growth and autonomy. The startup offered both. His current job offered neither. He applied the 70% rule, accepted the uncertainty, and set a time box of 48 hours to sign the contract. When he finally signed, he didn't feel the old familiar pang of regret. He wasn't a victim of his options. He was the master of his direction. If you are currently stuck, remember, the cost of standing still is often higher than the cost of a wrong turn. A wrong turn can be corrected. Standing still just wastes your life. Build your architecture, filter your values, set your timer, and once you move, never look back. Your life is waiting for you on the other side of your next yes.